Yeah. What up, good people? Welcome to another episode of the Strategically Reckless Podcast. I am your host, Jay Brown, aka Mr. 710. And we are glad that you are joining us once again. Hey, listen. Might be one of those shows. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. It's been a long few days for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and ain't gonna keep y'all too long. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in via Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or however it is that you listen. Thank you, and thank you. On tonight's episode, we will be talking about music milestones. We're going to talk about some shouting, flight fails, and much more. Yo, as I was thinking to myself, you know, as I was going through and writing this show, it was one of those things where it's like, you know, a lot of stuff that I just could not be a part of. Just can't be a part of that. And one of the things that happened was it was a song that came on the radio. I want to say it was "I Love Your Girl" by The Dream, and it took me back to a time in which I was playing semi-pro basketball. When I say it was one of the raggediest, most ghetto, bootleg semi-pro teams or leagues that you could think of, it was every bit of that. I'm talking about in the worst of ways. And so, like, when I say in the worst of ways, like, we had to sell our own tickets. We had to drive our own vehicles to out-of-town games. Like, the coach rented a vehicle. He rented a vehicle for him, and it was a Chevy Malibu. But he rented a Chevy Malibu. Yeah, that part. And expected 8 basketball players to figure out how to get from Arkansas to Oklahoma. That's crazy. Like that whole situation. Here's the bad part about driving your own vehicle to Oklahoma. The other team did not show up. The other team wasn't there. We drove 4 hours and played against ourselves for about 30 minutes. And then it was like, then a few of them started coming in and said we was playing somewhere else. Our bad. Like, what? What do you mean, our bad? What are y'all doing? What have I gotten myself into? I could no longer be a part of that. Like that was crazy to me. And then like that was around the time that movie came out, and I'm just like, Jackie Moon and them had it way better than we did. Even though that wasn't even real, Jackie Moon and them had it way better. And so, like this stuff right here, I never got. But back to the music, I got like when the song came on, I always associated with The Dream. And the thing about it, it marked a point in time in my life in which, I was playing semi-pro ball and going through the worst of situations when we was talking about like thinking that I'm doing something on the pro level, but at that time Tracy McGrady wasn't selling his own tickets. Y'all at least gotta have somebody to do that now. Come on now. And so then I started thinking about like when the 1985 Chicago Bears made this song called the Super Bowl Shuffle. What up, Pops? In the Super Bowl shuffle, it takes me back to when the Bears actually had some glory days. What up, cuz? Charmaine Teddy Blunt in the house. It took me back to those days, and I was like, yo. And so that's a good feeling about football, because that was the childhood. That was the one that they won, and ain't won since. And then, like my time in Korea, Jay-Z had just came out with the Blueprint 3. That's what myself and Lawrence, we listen to that all the time. Some people ain't gonna like this, but while I was in college, when the Chocolate Factory came out, hey, that got me back and forth to school all day. All day, it got me back and forth to school. It got me through school. It was that, and so you start thinking about why those songs important, because it marked that milestone. It marked that milestone of whatever it was that you was doing, whether it was basketball, whether it was your dating life. Like, hey, you know, you put in R. Kelly when you wanted to get the draws. If you was trying to get the draws, you put on R. Kelly, which is why it's a lot of people out here that have a hard time letting the music go, because they can separate the person from the music. Yes, that's his voice, but that wasn't his nasty side. That wasn't that child, whatever you had going on over that side. That was his creative side, the set the mood side. So that was probably the time when you first start getting draws, and R. Kelly is what's going on in your background. You don't forget that. You're like, wow, this was amazing for me. There's a point in time when it come on, you start thinking about it, like, you know what? Woohoo! Every time some cut comes on, it take Naya back to her college days when she was sweating at the parties with her friends, the Olympians. Hey, that song come on, both of her hands go up. One at the minimum. Like, this is kind of what it is. Like, that's, wow. She upstairs breathing hard right now. She got ready to put that one hand up when I was doing it. So you know what happened when the song come on. My cousin Charmaine said her daughter was made to an R. Kelly song. I appreciate you, Cavs. Adding on to the Brown family. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just one of those things. So, but you know, you gotta listen to R. Kelly on your own time now. You can't, it ain't one of them things that you just want to share. You gotta listen to OR on your own time. Cause there's a lot of people that be like, hey, I can't be a part of that now, y'all. You know what I'm saying? What up, Shark? And so it's like, damn, you know, I went to Indianapolis this weekend. Went to go visit my dad, right? And my brother was out there, and it's been a long time since I've been in the extra row. My last few times that I've flown, we had the kids, and so they couldn't be in the extra rows. We also it was rough out there, yo. Like it was rough flying without the kids, but you know, we get there and we get the extra row, stretch out just a little bit. And here's what I know about the extra row. It's a lot of people that don't want to sit there because they don't want to agree to their responsibility. But I do wonder, would you get in if something happened? If something happened, I saw the sign to Dayton. Pops told me it's about an hour and a half. What's up, Alicia? If something happened where a plane went down and you had to reach up in there and pull that lever to open the door, would you get in trouble if you just left? Like, I'm not necessarily gonna, I told you I was gonna help, but I lied because I got scared and then I ran away because I saw that the plane was on fire and somebody had to tell the story. Would you get in trouble? I wonder if you get in trouble for that. Because you do agree to it, but they don't really know your name because you're not assigned to a particular seat. Not on Southwest, you're not. Maybe on some of these other flights. But, so I'm sitting in the extra row by the door. And the lady comes over and she was, it was weird because you got to get the speech, right? They got to tell you, hey, so in case of emergency, all you got to do is just reach up in there and pull that handle, the door open, and then you got to jump out and lead the people to safety. And there's a part of me that's like, what y'all gonna be doing? Like, what y'all gonna be doing that I gotta lead them to safety other than you not sitting where I'm sitting? I don't understand that. Cuz said, save yourself. Yes, I'm gonna get out. But the lady was so convincing, I felt myself getting ready to reach up in there and pull the handle. She was like, oh, no, not right now. So I thought she wanted me to practice, make sure I had it. Like, I wanted to make sure that they had, like, hey, this is how you do it. You reach up in there and grab that red lever and pull it. And they telling you how to get out just because they ain't gonna help. That's all they telling you is that, hey, we gonna be doing something else. We ain't gonna help. Somebody said they're gonna be gone before us. Like, they ain't gonna help. And it's just kind of what it is because you giving me instruction. I really don't know. Like, if I'm the dude sitting in the aisle and there's somebody, like if it's a 3-seat, I'm sitting in the aisle and yeah, I had to agree to it so I could have some extra leg space. But there's 2 other people that's at the door before me. If I'm getting out third, then I'm one of the rest of them at that point. Like, I don't know what y'all need 3 people for. They don't even really tell you what to do. I just be like, follow me. That's it. Hey, if you don't see where the line is running by the time you get off the plane, you've been taking too long. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But I didn't pull the lever. I did not pull the lever. I started to. I almost thought about it. She was real convincing. She almost told me, like, hey, I might have to make you get up because you look like you really wanted to, pull that lever. I didn't, but she was real convincing. But here's, like, the first flight was fine. The flight on the way back was a problem. This was a problem, and it was a problem before it even took off. I'm getting on the plane, and you know how people putting up bags, so it's the line in the walkway. Well, my bag was blocking the entrance to a row. I was going back to where my brother was sitting. He was on the same flight. He just was in the A group. And so, as I'm waiting for these people in front of me to start walking, this lady behind me bumps into me to sit down. Like, she nudges me forward so that she could sit down. And what's going on, E? I was like, whoa. And I turned around and I saw who it was. And the only reason why it was important for me to see who it was and who this person was, me and my brother, we saw this lady walking towards us while we were watching the end of two of these football games. And from the front, she was one of these ladies. She was a smaller chick. She had some hips. She had some deceptive hips. So like she would make you think like she had a big booty, but she did not. But the thing that I noticed was that she had the worst wig I've ever seen in my life. It was just Pam Oliver style. And so she just happened to be behind me. I didn't know this because when I get on the plane, I don't care who's behind me. I'm going to my seat. Nothing else matters unless I'm in the way. And apparently, I was, because when she hit me, she bumped me, and I was like, "Whoa! Oh, I didn't hit you that hard. So you did that shit on purpose?" That's what's going through my mind, but I'm trying to be cool. And I said, you were kind of aggressive getting in that chair. She was like, I was not being aggressive. I figured a big man like you could handle it. You know what? I can't take part in this with you. I can't. I'm not going to do this. What's going on with two kings, two queens? I'm not going to do this with you. I'm not going back and forth with you. I would rather not. I would rather not take it. Nothing that I needed to take happens behind me. I don't know you like that. And for you to be like, I felt like a big guy like you should be to handle it. Don't just be pushing me. Secondly, cuz said she was trying to holler. Fail. First of all, that is not how you do it. Don't go pushing me. First of all, you cannot come up to me. You cannot holler at me with your hair looking like that. Like if I'm associating your hair with Pam Oliver, it was a struggle. It was worse. I'm like, she looked like she like it rough. Because whatever she was doing, she looked like she had just been rolling around on the floor. You can't come holler at me like that. What's going on, Chad? You can't shoot your shot at me looking like you pulled that wig out the dirty clothes hammer. I'm not going. I'm not easy. You see, you see this ring? I'm super faithful. Stop, leave me alone. Your ugly hair. That's disappointing. Don't say that. But as I'm heading to the back, like there's a dude that was sitting in front of us. He saw the whole thing and he was like, wait, was that lady with the bad wig? Is she the one that pushed you? And I was like, yeah, dog, like, I don't understand why she felt like it was okay. I don't understand why she felt like this dude is in the wrong for reacting to me intentionally pushing him. Why not? Why not? And I asked that, and then like I said, this is the same person that looked like she pulled that wig out the dirty clothes hammer. So she probably that's probably her get down. She don't care about nothing. You have nobody in your corner to tell you that shit ain't cool. I'm trying to get into heaven, so I did not engage in it. I just went back to my seat. Like, this is crazy. That somebody would think that shit was okay. You don't touch me. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you too good to be touched. But I don't know you. And there's no reason. You have zero reason. You're not in that big of a rush. You already standing there. I don't go around pushing people talking about, oh, you big, so I should be able to get away with it. I'm not going to touch nobody. Don't touch me. If you need to get my attention, excuse me. Your mouth clearly works. Damn. You're trying to make me upset. It was already hot on that plane. On the way back, that plane was so hot. I had to take my hat off. The lady was standing next to me, blocking the exit row, so nobody sat between my brother and I. I have no idea why she did it, but I appreciate her for it. But it was so hot on the plane. There was a lot of breath on that plane. Not here for it. I wasn't here for it. I couldn't take part in that silly ass conversation with that lady. Okay. I won't. Nope. Not gonna be able to do it. She lucky. Well, yeah, she lucky I was tired. We did a lot of walking. This weekend. Going to the Colts game. You know what? Going to the Colts game was, I had a real good time. I had a good time this whole weekend. But I have expectations of fans in general. Fan being short for fanatic, and I understand. What's up? What up, bro? Hope you're bowling well. Like, you have people that come to watch the games, and some of them are real passionate about their team. Cool. Like, I'm here for that passion. I'm passionate about my team, but it's only so excited I'm gonna be. Like, I want to see my team win. They do something cold. I'm here for it. Catania. I think that's right. I said that right. But there's only so much excitement I'm gonna have. There's only so much that I'm gonna say to a stranger in general, because I don't know them. And so we get up to as we're walking to our seats, and I get some people trolling. This dude was coming down the ramp where we were walking up, and there was an old guy in front of us. I guess he had a Tennessee hat on. And dude was like, "You're not in Tennessee." Like, that's rather aggressive for no reason. The game ain't even started yet. And this is what you want to do to that old guy? All right. Y'all some one of a kind. And that wasn't even the beginning. We make it to our seats. The row is pretty much empty. 10 minutes later, this guy comes in and he's by himself, asks us, "Hey, are you guys Colts fans?" And Dad looks up, he's like, "Hey, it depends on who's asking." "Oh, I'm a Colts fan." Cool. You know what? I'm not a Colts fan. I'm just here. I want to see a good football game. And I should have ended our whole interaction right there. I should have ended the whole interaction right then. And I didn't. And 10 minutes later, Anthony Richardson comes out, first round quarterback. He's a black quarterback from Florida, now playing in Indianapolis. And look over and ask the guy, I was like, "Hey, how do you feel about Anthony Richardson?" And I messed up. I'm going to take full responsibility for asking him that question, because his response was, "I'm so glad we got that honky MFer Andrew Luck out of here. It's about time we got a brother as a quarterback." Wow. What? Wow. All right. Well. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I'm not talking to this guy anymore. I'm not. We're not doing this at all. That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to retreat. I'm like, wow, did you? Wow. Wow. The game hadn't even started yet. It's still 4 quarters left, like at halftime. Oh hell no. Wow. Julian said, wow. Yo, chill, dog. Like, what is your problem? Why did you feel like you could say that? My wife up there sneezing and cousin is hilarious. Phew, shit. Okay, thanks. Bless you. And so, like, Buddy sat there, and then next thing you know, like, it was bad because I could smell his breath. And Buddy kept talking, and then next thing you know, like, this lady came down, and I guess it was his date, but it was his girl, but she was wearing a Tennessee Titan jersey. Hold on, you sleeping with the enemy? I don't know what are you talking? Why are you asking us who we here to cheer for, and you sleeping with the enemy? Leave me alone. Raggedy, and he had yellow and brown teeth. It was horrible. Just primarily the ones in the front. But then, like, they got up and left for a while. I'm like, all right, shit, maybe they gone. Now, this is the second quarter, so I'm feeling all right. I ain't saying nothing else to them. I'm kind of sitting, like, towards my dad with my back to the buddy, like, all right, I just don't want him to talk to me no more. I don't want to, I have no reason to look back that way because the field is this way. So I would be cool if he had never said anything else to me. In which, when they came back about 20 minutes later, and his whole mood was done for. Like, whatever happened when he left, it ruined his whole energy. Like, I could sit back in my seat the right way. He had his head down in his head for a while. I was like, oh, I hope ain't nobody died. But if y'all just having a bad time, then I'm cool with that. Whole thing changed. His whole energy was gone. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. I can't be a part of somebody that can't have a good time at a game. Now, all right. So, if I take my wife to a game and she out here flirting with Nick Cannon, yeah, I have an attitude. Go ahead and have 13 babies with him then. Do it. You nasty. Y'all gonna have mesothelioma together. You say some hurtful stuff and then go back home. We're not gonna do this no more. You stay over there and babysit Earl Jr. and Tyler. And the rest of them. Zeke and Fleming. I don't know them kids' name. That wasn't their names. But how would you respond to somebody saying something like that to you? Here's stranger, like, do you check them and be like, hey, don't say honky MF to me. I'm not that person. Do you just start ignoring them like I did? Or do you encourage that behavior and be like, Yeah. See, I can't encourage that behavior because I have an idea that if I had said nothing was wrong with that honky MFer, he probably would have said, he probably would have called Derrick Henry a nigga. I'm sure it would have came out. I'm almost willing to guarantee it would have came out about something or somebody. It might even have been a compliment to the lady that sang the national anthem. Now, speaking of that, we've heard bad national anthems. We've all heard bad ones. When the person gets introduced as a platinum recording artist, I don't remember her name, but she was introduced as a platinum recording artist. So I would just assume that she's good at what she does. And if singing is it, I'm expecting some good music. If she out here singing, I'm expecting a good voice. And she sang her ass off. And all of these Caucasians around us was looking like, wow, she's really good. Wow. That's damn good there. What do you think? Yeah, you liked it too? Yeah, it was good. I was like, what did you expect? Did you expect the bad flute version of the national anthem? Because that wasn't what she was there for. She was there to show y'all. And show y'all she did. I just didn't know what voice they thought they was going to hear. And for all of them, like, I done heard plenty of national anthems. I done been to plenty of sporting events. And never once had I've seen, like, the collective Caucasian around me, like, that was damn good. Wow. That was awesome. Wow. Yeah. I like that. I'd never seen that before. I wish I'd have remembered her name. I would have tagged her. I would tag her in this part of the clip. I would make this into a clip and send it to her and be like, yeah. It was a whole section that was like, yeah. That was damn good. I should have set my DVR. I gotta go buy her album. I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna buy the record. Yeah, listen. I was proud of it. It was good, but I just couldn't take part of that other conversation. That other conversation was something different. And you know what? Sporting events, and in the airplane, like, people are not their normal selves at the airport or at sporting events, and for two totally different reasons. Like, somebody go to a game and they'll be hollering and yelling at these folks, and Kenyatta, what up? We hollering at these folks on the court, and you know they can't hear. They 60 rows up, all the way up in the 600s, yelling stuff down at the players like they can be heard. They probably wouldn't be able to hear you if you was by yourself and you all up there, shoot the ball, throw it, you suck. You wouldn't say that if you was down there by the court. You just wouldn't. Self-discovery was happening. You're not gonna say that when you down there or when you run into this player at Waffle House or whatever. You're gonna be shaking hands and trying to take pictures. Under no other circumstance, I don't believe that lady is just going around pushing people just because she got a bad wig. I'm almost willing to bet like she not at the bank just pushing the big dude in front of him like, thought you could handle it. But why'd you do it? Because I thought you could handle it. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't aggressive. But why would you do that though? Like, it didn't change anything other than you getting talked to by somebody that had zero interest in turning around and seeing your hair again. I only saw the part that was flapping out. This is bad. And she didn't have a booty. So it's even worse. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to get into heaven, so I don't even talk about people like that. Unless you push me and you got a wig that looked like it was taken out of the dirty clothes hair. That's the only time. That's the only time. One of the only times. But before I get out of here, I've been going back and forth on how I wanted to talk about this study so it was a study that came out recently, like within the week, that said that study shows that shouting at kids is just as detrimental or just as harmful, is what they said, just as harmful as physical abuse or sexual abuse. And I was looking at that like, whoa, wow, that escalated quickly. Because I know that I've done my share of yelling. The boy has heard his share of yelling from me. But I made sure that I was careful with my words. I was careful with my words because I understand that the effect that words can have on somebody. But at the same time, there are kids that, hey, you know you can't do that. It would be nice if you behaved. Come on, man. You know right from wrong. That tone gets, I don't know if that tone gets you the results that you're looking for. And so, you know, and it's weird when it comes to parenting and stuff like that, you know, my dad told me like, yo, y'all taught me how to parent you. And yeah, it didn't make sense hearing it as a kid because it's like, how am I teaching you how to be a parent? You should already know. And if you ain't ever had no kids before, then how much do you really know? Because you are parenting this kid and ain't none of these kids the same. Ain't none of them the same. It might be similar. They might do some of the same dumb shit, but they ain't all the same. How they get to that dumb shit might be different ways, but they get to the same dumb shit. And so that shouting part. So I watched. I went to CNN. Jerry, what's good? I went to CNN and I listened to the lady who was the author of the study. I believe her name is Dr. Shanta Dube, something like that. Dube is the last name. And first of all, the guy that was interviewing her kind of did a shit job. Just on GP. I feel like he kind of did a shit job just in that 5-minute clip that we saw. And that, I don't think that was the end of the interview, but that was the clip that they were showing to, I guess, get people to see what she has to say about it. And he asked her 2 questions, one about how does it affect the developmental part of it, and why is it now a thing that they're looking at more so than some of that other stuff. And she started off and kind of described like, verbal abuse was lumped in as a subcategory to emotional abuse, which I get that. And what they're trying to do is say that, hey, verbal abuse has just as much as an effect on a child as the physical abuse, the sexual abuse, the emotional abuse. And okay, and neglect, I believe that's also in there. And I was like, all right, so if you're saying it like that, that doesn't get people all up in arms, as opposed to shouting. Because shouting is just, for a lot of people, it's just like, I was talking to my wife about this earlier, and I was like, my grandfather was really loud. He was a really loud person. Like, I've never heard him do anything quietly. And so, while he's talking to you, whether he's talking about something, that he's excited about, or he's talking about something that he's angry about, that all sounds the same. Like, that's the same. And so for us, we just used to taking it like that, because my grandfather, he was not there was nothing soft about this guy. I don't know if he could go soft. Hey, yo, I don't know if he could go soft. It's crazy. I don't know if he could be gentle to somebody in that way. Yo, that was crazy. That's wild. All right, yo, wait till that one get cut out. And so, like, every time he talked, it was always like, yo, Grandpa is always upset with something that I'm doing, but he was never mean. He was never mean with what he was talking about, because most of the time it was something that he was either passionate about, whether it was how I was dressing or whatever. Like, he didn't like the baggy stuff. He was in the military as a police officer. All his clothes fit. He had been the same size since the 70s. He still wore some of those clothes. And he got up in the morning and tucked all his clothes in. He got fully dressed. I had never seen this man in any shorts. Barely seen him in anything short sleeve. He got up and got fully dressed, buttoned all the way up, everything tucked in. Every day. There wasn't no relaxing. Every day. And so he looked at me like, hey, look at you with them big ass clothes on. You might be a hoodlum. I don't want people to think that you're a hoodlum, because that's how hoodlums dress. Yeah, let me go to my dictionary and look up hoodlum, because people don't use that word no more, Grandpa. You mean a gangster? Oh, no, I don't even hang with them people. Oh, well, you wear them big old shorts, you're going to look like a hoodlum. You wanted me to wear shorts like Magic Johnson or John Stockton? Nah. Not gonna be able to do it. I'm not doing that. And so, where my mom, on the other hand, she said some stuff that I would be like, yo, I would never say that to anybody else. And part of it I think in an interview, it was a sales interview, and the guy asked me a question. It was like, "Hey, so what if somebody is mean to you? Or what if somebody says anything mean stuff to you, like get out of my face or anything like that?" And now that I think about it, if somebody has said that to me, I'd be like, "Yo, that person is emotionally scarred, so in some way, shape, or form." But my response was, I don't think anybody out here in this public will say anything worse to me than what my mom did. And he kind of looked. I was like, yeah, but they don't get too out of control because I cussed them out. I just took it from my mom. But I'm not a little person. Pam Oliver Head would tell you that I'm not little. I should be able to handle that. And so, I don't yell at people. I yell at the kids, but I don't say. I make sure that I don't say hurtful stuff. And so I don't know what it like if they just say verbal abuse. You know, going back to the original point, like verbal abuse makes sense. And so they say verbal is just as bad as emotional or physical or sexual. All right, we all have an idea about what verbal abuse will look like, you know, by itself, because there's a big part of this population that's been talked rough to, or you know somebody that's been talked rough to in a weird way. And you know, one of the primary examples come from where, you know, for someone that's deemed as a narcissistic person, when they're dealing with somebody else, they might be abusive in order to put that person down so that they can build themselves up. Like, we all know somebody who is like that. Not that we want to be around them, but we know them. We know them when we see them. We know we got friends that date them. You know, we might have a homeboy who is like that. And for whatever reason, you might be the homeboy or the homegirl that's like that. Because it's not just one way, you know, when you're talking about adults. But then when you got kids involved, like, they deal with stuff different. So I get it. When you, like, if you have to shout, and all of the first examples that people think about when the word shouting is used is, hey, you're not gonna really tell your kid, hey, don't light the house on fire, and they got a match in their hand. You might get loud. Now, if you call them stupid or dumb at the end of that, like if you're like, hey, don't play with those matches. If you have to say that, now it's like, all right, I had to say, hey, don't play with those matches. Hey, don't jump off the roof. Yes, I am yelling at you because I don't want you to jump off the roof. Why are you up there? And you just playing. Why are you playing on the roof? Yes, I am yelling at you because that is dangerous. I do not want to be quiet with this one. Hey, you know it's real dangerous if you play on the roof. So please don't go up there ever again. I know a whole lot of kids be like, yeah, all right. Whatever. And 2 hours later, if that long, they back on the roof. You can yell that a little bit. You might think twice. Then again, you might be able to claim verbal abuse because you don't like what's being yelled to you or at you. And so, but if it's like verbal abuse by itself, it takes out it doesn't exclude the shouting. When you put it like that as a headline, it causes a whole convoluted argument and a whole circular conversation that doesn't need to be had, and only a part of it needs to be had. But if you word it right, you don't have to have a circular conversation with somebody who wants to defend that I'm just gonna be loud, because that's a conversation that I can't take part in. All right, good people, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. That is all I got for you all today. It is hoodie season. Hoodie season is here. Hoodie season is here for the latest hoodies. I'm about to switch out some of the t-shirts, and I might switch out some of the older t-shirts on the website, but I will be adding the hoodies back to the website because the fall is here. It's time to rock and roll, good people. So if you know something, start thinking about Christmas ideas. You can go ahead and shoot me a message at the710printshop@gmail.com if you got any ideas that something that you want that's not on the website but you want on the hoodie. You can go ahead and email me there. That's the710printshop, THE710printshop @gmail.com. To check out the website, it is www.THE710printshop.com. Go ahead and follow the 710 Print Shop on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm gonna be doing more. I'm about to start pumping out stuff on that social media. So yeah, follow me there. And like and subscribe wherever it is that you listen to these podcasts, wherever it is that you come across these videos. Go ahead and hit that like button, man. We all appreciate that. But until next time, good people, y'all stay safe out in these streets. I'm out. The baby crying. I don't know which one that is, but she be having nightmares. You can't just run in there. All right, let me shut this on down. Come on now. She wasn't ready for it to end.